What is extremely rare but people think it's very common? A woman's water breaking during pregnancy. It only happens outside of the hospital like 15% of the time. But in the movies it's always the dramatic telling of when a baby is coming. Successfully resuscitating someone who is drowned. Edit for clarification, drowned is the key word. I mean died from submersion in water. /u/defog has opened a great discussion with me on this, and this chart is very telling on the different success rates based on drowned versus drowning. Edit, at request, if your heart stops there is a 1 in 20 chance you will survive with CPR. An AED doubles your chances. But that's only to 1 in 10. 90 to 95% of hearts that stop do not restart. The fit guy laughing at the fat newbie at the gym. When I was fat getting into shape, I got nothing but positive reinforcement from these guys to never give up and keep going. My fat friends were paranoid people and assumed people were laughing at them. In reality, gym goers were just being social and laughing about their conversations. If the BBC has taught me anything, it would be murders in small British villages. I'm gonna go with people actually eating Tide Pods. Probably just a few idiots that the media latched onto. Shark attacks. I live in Perth, supposedly one of the shark attack capitals of the world. Sure, we see them occasionally. But actual attacks are very rare. People giving away drugs to kids at Halloween. Why would they give away product they could sell? Based on movies, I'd say architects. Every professional worker in movies is an architect who goes to work every day with rolled up drawings hoping they're ready for the big presentation that will make or break their career. Big ticks at work right now, so I'm not googling the stats, but if you've ever had the pleasure of perusing through the Craigslist personals, you should. It's gold. There are a ton of women wanting a guy with at least a 9 inches schlong. 9 inches must be larger than 90% of porn stars. That's your bottom limit? You have no idea how rare a dick over 9 inches long is. 2 former co-workers, women, once claimed that they believe 8 inches was the average dick size. They are setting themselves up for a life of disappointment. There are only 13 advertising blimps in use around the world, yet it's so common to see them when there's a football game. Edit, for those asking for a source, underuse. There's also a blog post by one of the companies that owns a lot of these blimps, Van Wagner Airship, that says so. Becoming a successful YouTuber. Being in an airplane crash, it's 1 in a million, but a lot of people I know are still more scared to travel on a plane than in a car. You almost never see 2 guys walking across the street carrying a big pane of glass. Having green eyes. Only 1 to 2% of humans on Earth have green eyes. Burglary in the middle of the night. Burglary happens most often during the day, when nobody is home. No burglar wants to break in and try to sneak around your place while you're sleeping. His biggest concern is to evade detection. It makes more sense to work in the daytime. In all likelihood, that noise you heard outside was a car or a goon or your imagination. Go to sleep. Edit, gold? Thanks, but I was gonna break in and steal all your gold anyway. That's exactly what a burglar would say. Don't trust this person. Quicksand. Using stop, drop and roll. Pleading insanity to escape punishment for a crime. There was even a pretty so-so movie about it a while ago. In reality, it is very rare that insanity is used as a criminal defense strategy. Fewer than 1% of criminal cases in the US involve the insanity defense. Here's a PDF source for your perusal if you're not the type to trust some guy on the internet. Even then, it is only successful in 1 out of 4 attempts. And that involves convincing a psychiatrist that you're insane. So don't hang your hat on it if you're thinking about killing someone. Epilepsy being fall to the floor, spaz uncontrollably, froth and all that due to flashing lights. Epilepsy is recurring seizures, and there are lots and lots of seizure types, and often they aren't noticeable, even immediately so for the sufferer. Triggers for these seizures are more likely to be hyperventilation, stress, alcohol or sleep deprivation, or stuff like that, than strobe lights. Epilepsy is also pretty common, and it's likely you go to school or work with someone who has it, in a reverse of the title. Ironically for this post though, the kind of epilepsy I have does have the stereotype. Go figure. Writing code that executes on first compile. 99 bugs in the code on my screen, 99 little bugs. Take one down, figure it out, 130 little bugs in my code. Dropping out of college and becoming a millionaire/billionaire. Most of those people drop out of Harvard, MIT, Oxford and Cambridge et al. They don't drop out of community college. Hashtag survivor's bias. Rosk return of spontaneous circulation after CPR. I believe the actual success rate is 3%, and those people are very likely to have brain damage. Media would have you thinking it's a great catch-all for any unconscious person. Here's the thing though, a lot of times the CPR isn't what gets them circulating on their own again. What it does however is maintain blood flow so that by the time they get the treatment that will get them pumping again, they are less likely to have brain damage. Yes, the success rate is low, even lower if it's performed poorly. But even 3% is better than 0%. Hitting a jackpot. That's why casinos exist and are hugely profitable. Hell, late last year in my city a woman won $1.2 million just on a VLT at a local bar. Great for her, but you know it lead to an increase in people burning through their paychecks on those machines. Plutonium in 1955. I'm sure that in 1985 plutonium is available at every corner drugstore, but in 1955 it's a little hard to come by. Edit, Great Scott. This is my first gold. Pizza Hut rehydrated pizza for everyone. Good friends. Being able to make it as a musician or actor or many other creative jobs. And by making it I mean being able to earn some serious money or even just to make a living by just performing and not doing anything else. Most of the time, you will have to have multiple side projects that only roughly are related to actually performing, or so I've heard. If there are people with personal experience in these fields, I'd love to read your comments. I have a friend that's an amazing songwriter. He has written with and for many famous bands and artists, lots of people you've heard on the radio. He has been nominated for a Grammy twice, once in the last year or two. He has to work side jobs to make ends meet in between royalty checks. There is just no money in music anymore unless you are Taylor Swift or Lady Gaga. Getting killed by a serial killer who comes out with a mask and a knife every Halloween night. How would he have the time to kill that many teenagers? Can confirm it is rare, it only ever happened to me once. OCD, half the population act like they have it but only a small percent really do. Humans just generally like symmetry and tidiness, which doesn't even relate to actual OCD much but people are ignorant and naive. Edit, this blew up for understandable reason, glad we all could vent. Rip in box, replying as much as I can. I have a minor case to where I would tap on things 4 times and I took meds that helped with ADHD but it would strengthen my OCD to where I'd get paranoid in an odd repetitive way, constantly checking things. Edit, I might post a mega rant detailing my life with disorders. All these replies are making me understand and realize my life even more. I can't rant at school on phone though. Last edit, to the first edit bullet point, the ADHD medicine also made me have pretty much zero appetite, meaning I'd be so tired because I rarely ate, thus messing up my metabolism. As soon as I stopped taking my medicine I ended up gaining a lot of weight because I could finally eat properly in the first time in years. I am currently dedicating this year to lose weight and focus on my passions in spite of my stupid disorders. Astronomer here. Total solar eclipses. Hear me out. Obviously, we know that they're not common at any given point on Earth, but you'll have about one a year somewhere on the planet, so it's not unreasonable to see one if you plan a little. But with that context, it turns out our moon is the only moon we know of that is the exact same size of the sun in our sky. Mars's moons, for example, are captured asteroids too puny to cover the sun's disk, and the further out you go, the planet's moons are so big it more than covers the tiny size of the disk. So, with that, 100% of total solar eclipse is where you actually get the sun obscured and see the corona and all that jazz happens on Earth. And this effect won't happen forever either, because the moon is moving away from us a few inches a year. In a few 100 million years no one will see total solar eclipses anymore. Dissociative identity disorder, multiple personalities. Successfully saving someone trapped by a fire, via re-entering a burning building. The mortality rate for this is really high, and fire departments have petitioned to stop showing this in movies because it usually results in another life being lost. Wasabi, you can only really find the real stuff in Japan, and even there it's really rare. Edit, the stuff you eat here is just colored horseradish. A potential mate who is successful, smart, funny, attractive, mentally stable, ready for commitment and single. And attracted to you. Their kid being anything above average. Edit, because I've received the comment multiple times, no, 50% of kids are not above average. Ignoring the number that would be exactly the mean or median, making it less than 50%. Average in context means the accepted range near the mean/median, with outliers above and below. Most kids fall in the accepted range, while their parents believe them to be outliers, usually because of one or two specific attributes that appear exceptional, when they are overall average like everyone else. Sorry to kill the joke by over-explaining. Hey, my son's head size is in the 92nd percentile. Doesn't mean anything, except that he has a big head. Deaths caused by nuclear power. It's actually far safer than just about every other type of power generation in terms of deaths caused each year. Edit, this blew up. Wish I could stay to reply more, but work calls. Fun story, I was stationed aboard a nuclear-powered submarine, and everyone has to wear a small device that detects the amount of radiation you're exposed to. I wasn't a nuke, I didn't work in the engine room, I didn't work with the reactor at all. But I worked topside, in the sun, and I got more radiation exposure than almost every nuke on board. Helium. Inhales, you are absolutely right. Carrot, I can't believe we're wasting it when it's crucial in so many industries. Carrot, however, I think that it will run out as it escapes, used or not.